Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Monday, May 9th slate of NBA and MLB action. I'm super excited to hop into it. Once again, we have a pretty full slate of the MLB, and as well as having two NBA playoff games, which obviously I'm really excited for the NBA playoff games. I think that a lot of the games have actually been pretty competitive and pretty solid this year, so I am really excited about that. I think that this has been overall just a really good playoffs, and I think it's been really enjoyable to watch. I can't say so much about some of the other years, but truthfully, a lot of these series have been competitive regardless of the outcomes. I think that a lot of the games have been a lot more competitive than maybe the total series has showed. Other than my Bulls, of course, but other than that, I think that the series have actually been pretty competitive. They've been enjoyable to watch. So I hopefully that does continue on. But one thing that I don't hope continues on is this cold streak we're on. Man, oh man, this is a vicious cold streak. Am I like cursed or something? I don't know. But regardless, we're gonna go ahead and bounce back. Today's gonna be the day. I feel it. I picked some absolutely square picks, but that's what you got to do in the playoffs. You got to pick some square picks, and you have to you just have to roll with what's hot right now. So that's what we're going with. So, but without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. First things first, I did just want to go ahead and say that at the time of recording this video, we are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. Today's the day. We're bouncing back. I feel it. First, we'll do a quick recap, even though I definitely don't want to. But we'll go ahead and do it anyway. So we did have Jalen Brunson over 19.5 points versus Phoenix. He shot absolutely horrible. The shot volume was there. He took a ton of shots. He finishes with just 18. He gets pulled with like a minute and a half left in the game and finishes right with 18. He did start to get a little bit hot there in the third quarter. I think he scored like 12 in the third quarter or something like that. I know it was at least double digits. So he did come really close to this line, but unfortunately, he did finish with just 18. Also, then we did have Jimmy Butler over 6.5 rebounds. He didn't get a single rebound in the first half, and I knew that as soon as that happened, that was just not going to be good. But by the way, the Dallas Mavericks game was absolutely phenomenal to watch, and even the Miami Heat game, the way that Harden hit that dagger was just wild. I was not expecting that, but it was such a great play. But anyway, then we did have the Oakland A's and the Minnesota under 7 runs, and that one actually did get a push. I truly don't think that we had any business winning that bet. They scored 7 runs in the first 3 innings, I believe it was. It was either 3 or 4. And then after that, they didn't score another single run. So we got a push on that one. I will say we got a little bit lucky. We had no business coming close to that bet, but ended up working out for us. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's picks. These are going to be the ones I'm feeling it. I'm gonna up my unit size just a little bit. I'm just gonna put a little bit extra on these games. I need wins. I need to taste it again. I need these wins. So let's go ahead and dive into it. First play of the day, we're taking Marcus Smart under 21.5 PRAs here versus Milwaukee at -120 odds. Now, if you take a look at it, he has had 17 and 13 PRAs here in this series so far. So he hasn't really come super close to it. I mean, he did have 17, but he still would have had to get 5 more PRAs to be able to hit this over. Also, last game, he did only have 29 minutes played in the game, and I do think that part of it is because he is still dealing with that injury. He obviously had that injury in Game 2, I believe it was, or Game 1, something like that, but he did end up getting injured during one of those games, and because of that, I think he is still battling that injury, and I think they are trying to monitor it a little bit. I think they're trying to limit his minutes, and I just think that this line is reflective of what he did have in the previous series, which he absolutely went crazy in the previous series. But I think this is a different series. He's going to have a tougher matchup. Also, talking about matchups, versus Milwaukee in their last 7 games, they have allowed the second fewest points per game, the 9th fewest rebounds per game, and the 8th fewest assists per game to opposing point guards. So they've had a really tough matchup, and it's obviously because they are going up against Drew Holiday, absolutely fantastic two-way player. Also, Marcus Smart on the road, he does average 0.8 fewer PRAs on the road. I know that's not a huge advantage, but it is something to look at. He does average 0.8 fewer PRAs on the road, so hopefully he can stay on that trend. Hopefully he can get even fewer PRAs on that one. Maybe like 3 or 4 fewer. That'd be kind of nice, but we'll have to see. Hopefully he is still monitoring those minutes. Hopefully he does stick around right around this 30 minutes per game, because Derek White actually had a pretty decent game last time. So hopefully they play him a couple more minutes and take some of those from Smart. Also, Jalen Brown, he has had a huge step up since Marcus Smart has been ruled out. And in these last 2 games, he's had a really good job of not only scoring the basketball, but also facilitating. So I think he might take a little bit of usage away as well. So that's going to be our first play of the day. Marcus Smart under 21.5 PRAs here versus Milwaukee at -120 odds. Second play of the day, we're taking the man himself, Jordan Poole, over 20.5 points here versus Memphis at -115 odds. Now, if you take a look at it, when it comes to the point department, Jordan Poole has been an absolute bucket. We all know that. There's no shocker there whatsoever. But in this series, he has had 27, 20, and 31 points. So he's at least scored 20 points in every single game in the series. So we just need him to score 21, and hopefully he can do that for us. Also, in the last 7 games, the Grizzlies have given up the 11th most points per game to opposing point guards, which I know Jordan Poole plays a little bit of backup point guard. He also does kind of slide into that shooting guard position, so we'll talk about that one too. They also allowed the 11th most points per game to opposing shooting guards, so they give up a decent amount of points to both of those positions. And also, this over-under is actually pretty high still. It's still at 224 despite Ja being questionable. I don't think Ja will play. That injury, you could tell he was pretty upset about it, but I do think that he is more than likely going to be ruled out. But the over-under is still really high for that game. 224 is pretty high. Also, it's a 10-point spread in favor of the Warriors, which means that we could potentially see a guy like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson potentially getting just a couple fewer minutes. I think they are going to try to rest them, not like completely like sit them out or anything, but I do think they try to limit their minutes just a little bit, just for the next series or for future games, just in case if they do get out to a early lead. I do think that they are going to see some limited minutes. Also, if Steph is out there, obviously Steph Curry is going to be their main focus on defense. They're going to be looking at Steph. They're going to be looking at Klay. And I think that Jordan Poole is going to be like that third option. So I'm not really sure who they're going to put on Jordan Poole. It's kind of switched every game, and now with Ja out, I think it's going to switch again. So I'm going to be taking advantage of it. Hopefully it's not as great of a defender, and we're going to be riding with it. Jordan Poole over 20.5 points here versus Memphis at -115 odds. Now, for our MLB play of the day, we're going to be riding with the Dodgers, -1.5 here versus Pittsburgh at -140. I know it's juiced, but truthfully, we just need some wins here. Like I said, we've been on a cold streak, so we just need some wins. So the Dodgers, they have covered the -1.5 run line in 6 straight games. Also, to the run line, the Dodgers on the road, are 9-5 to the run line on the road. So they have been a pretty solid team on the road, but they've also been a fantastic team at home. So obviously this team is just an absolute powerhouse. And Pittsburgh, they have been pretty good at home this year, so I'm not putting it past them. They have been 7-5 to the run line at home this year, so they have been a very, very solid team. But I do think this is a situation where the Dodgers are going to get the better end of it. Also, Julio Urias does have a 1.88 ERA on the year, so he has been a very, very great starting pitcher here for the Dodgers. And Jose Quintana for the Pirates, not nearly as much. He started off the year with a 3.38 ERA and an 0-1 record to start off the year. So hopefully we can get some more of that, and hopefully the Dodgers can go out and win pretty big on this one. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. This is King Sarah signing out. Peace.